YouTube voter opinion challenge from Casey Neistat accepted partially, but we're going to go into the responses I've seen so far, the most interesting ones. Number one, Casey Neistat did a video where he told everybody, post a video, especially if you're a big YouTuber, and tell people who you're voting for and why. He then said his reasons for voting against Trump, which is primarily his reasons. It's an anti-vote, voting against someone. And he did list basically that he thinks, I'm gonna truncate this, that he thinks that Trump's an egomaniac and isn't worth trusting as a president, which is actually the opinion of a lot of people, mostly because of the way he acts. And I'm going to point out something to counter that. I don't think Casey Neistat's going to care about this, but Donald Trump is a consummate politician with one error. He lacks the grace to admit when he's been proven wrong. Not when he's done something wrong or whatever, but when he's been proven wrong on a simple point. And that is an unacceptable defect with me. I mean, I have to acknowledge when I'm wrong too. Otherwise I can't grow and change. Now, what he's doing works great in the business world because basically you look like a hard ass. You know, that's great. But unless you can do it with more finesse, he's just a little too blunt to get away with that. So he would need to acknowledge, yeah, I made a mistake, and then drop it. Can't do it. He even brought up recently a group of people who were falsely accused of committing a crime, and he just keeps bringing it up. And I know there's some people out there who are immediately going to post that they're guilty. No, they're not guilty, because they're not. It is possible to prove someone innocent, even though that's not really the job of the legal system. It's mostly to do the opposite. But anyway, let's get back to Casey Neistat. Yeah, I think he crossed the line a bit, because he basically told anybody who wants to vote for Trump that they're voting for a bad person and that they probably are a bad person. He shouldn't have done that, in my opinion. But he's frustrated because he says this election isn't like the others where you're basically holding your nose and picking the least offensive person to vote for. It's a little bit different than that. And I agree with him in some ways, and so does everybody else. You all agree with me. It's just that you find Hillary Clinton much more dangerous. And I think appropriately so. I would rather we have a vanilla president for once, just, you know, anybody else. But the trouble is both parties basically gave us a bunch of stooges. So we're stuck. And then I get this. Several of the videos posted in response to him, it's not like they're playing into the meme of what a Trump supporter is supposed to be stereotypically. No, it's not Poe. They really did post these. One guy posted a video saying, I'm not saying Casey Neistat's a Jew. And another person here, I'm not going to bring up that guy's name. Random Talk guy, however, posted, Crooked Hillary funded Casey. Don't be dumb, people. Really. So you believe someone having a different opinion of you can't exist unless someone's paid to do it. Really? There's hundreds of examples of this. Really? The first coward's way out of an argument or a discussion where you claim everything you do is an opinion and you're having a right to it and no one else does is to call someone a Jew, a shill, and all the other crap that we all hear on the internet. Really? Casey Neistat should have done a different video, in my opinion. He should have done what he did, except for that last part about saying any Trump supporter is a bad person. He really didn't say it that way, but you can decide what he said. That's actually the assertion most people are going for. What he should have said is, I want everyone to express their opinion because we just yell at each other. We're not required to listen. Most of these people didn't watch the video all the way through. Some of them did. The ones who did posted that they don't agree with that last part only. They don't post that he's a Jew or that he's a shill. And I don't mean that he's Jewish. I mean that he's a, quote, Jew. This meme that people use. Random Talk guy and the other guy who posted that other video have no arguments against his opinion about what he wants to vote for or against. They've shown themselves to be cowards and incompetent in a basic argument or discussion. If you have an opinion when you post one of these videos on the net and you can't articulate why, you should just say it like me. I just don't like Trump. I don't feel it. If he was able to show some grace and dignity and acknowledge a failure, which is dangerous in business, which is the reason he won't do it. I'm sorry, he's a businessman. He's this short of being a perfect politician. If he'd just show a little more humility And more importantly, if he would drop a subject truly instead of digging it up later. He dug up something recently about a criminal action that was done wrong a long time ago. He brought it up because he can't not do that. That's not the kind of person I want touching a red button somewhere. It really isn't. I'd fire a person for less. You can't do these things. Hillary's almost as bad. Maybe even worse because she actually has a track record. But the track record shows, this is my opinion, that she's a little less dangerous than a lot of the others. Personally, I would have loved for us to have anybody. I mean, even the medical doctor who was running on the Republican side, he could have done it. But they let Trump in. They didn't have a choice. I guess they had to follow the voters' will. But when we get stereotypical horse crap like it's a shill or it's a Jew having this opinion, you really have to go there. You go for that tactic that always shows that you lack the ability to even form a human response, much less a rational one. Really? Unfortunately, every one of these idiots that did a video like that, you just proved the point about not Trump, but people who support him. You've made it obvious that this stereotype about Trump supporters being irrational, stupid, vindictive, arrogant assholes is sometimes true. I don't believe it most of the time. I know lots of people are going to vote for Trump because, quite frankly, they think he'd make a better politician for the job. They think he'd be a better shot. Mostly everybody, let's all acknowledge it. If you're voting for Trump, you're not voting for Trump. Most of you aren't. You're voting against Hillary because you don't like her. I personally don't want another Clinton in office. And I don't want Trump in, so I have to vote for Hillary. I'd rather have someone better. How about this? In the comments below, not about this subject, not about whether or not Casey Neistat crossed the line. I think he did. He did, but he's upset. I'm giving him it. I'm going to be a little generous. But I'm not going to go off on him about him being a Jew or whatever. Post below who you think should run instead of Trump and instead of Hillary. To where it'd be a really hard, I mean really, don't stack the deck in your favor. Stack it in everybody's favor. The two best people for the job on the Democrat and Republican side. You know I would put in, if we could force it? I don't agree with her doling out everything under religion, but Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. One of the richest women on the planet, just people, period. She would not have any trouble getting elected. She won't do it because she just said she won't. I think, and this is going to sound really funny because I've gone off on birthers, but change the law so Arnold Schwarzenegger could run as well. Why? Because they're very recognizable. They've already stated their opinions. They've also shown that they can change their opinion and they can admit they're wrong once in a while. That would make it to where we're not yelling over barricades, screaming at each other, down with Trump or down with Hillary, and we'd be saying, up with my guy or up with your guy. Instead of hating on people, we would be just trying to find the best one for the job. How about that for a change? And by the way, who benefits by making sure nobody has somebody to vote for? You might want to think really freaking hard about that. And look at the comment sections for every video that's a reply video for Casey Neistat's video. Look at all of the comment sections and see which group of people becomes more of a stereotype. I'm seeing liberals doing the same shit. They're scary. Okay, there's no shortage of whack jobs on the internet for either political polarization. But what is the tactic they go for first because they just don't have an argument? Hey, at least Trump's hair isn't a toupee. At least we found that out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all that. What's wrong with Hillary, though?